Hi, everyone. This is John. I get to start today. You might say, uh-oh, is Nick out? This is going to be an episode I'm not going to listen to because Stupid John is starting off. I don't think Stupid John's part of my real name, but I think you use it, lovingly.
Well, I use it in vain.
Yes, you do. You're welcome to use my name in vain, unlike God.
Right. So, okay, let's talk about a sacrilegious joke that I do all the time. Whenever I hear someone say, oh my God, or oh Jesus, or something like that, my very first response, and now it's gotten to be just kind of a knee-jerk response, is, oh, no, you can just call me Nick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said it was thundering there, right?
It is. And lightning and rain coming down. I could barely see the fence in my backyard because the rain's coming down so hard right now.
Yeah, it may, if you keep doing that, it may get much louder and maybe a little closer. If you
might be get a little warmer. My hair might stand up on end if I had any.
And then you are really well positioned to say, oh God.
Oh God. Yes, absolutely. Well, this is really odd because we're having some major weather today. I think most of the country is. You have ice that you were just talking about a few minutes ago.
Yes.
But it's January. John, it's January and we are 70 degrees and there's a thunderstorm.
Wow. I don't know if you knew this, but I think I've decided we're going to rename it. It's now January.
January. I like that a lot.
I think we could think about the money we'd make reprinting calendars. And
that makes me, I was watching a show. I just binged a show. I'm a big fan of the old Top Gear, what is now Grand Tour.
Yes, me too.
James May has his own show. It's a 6-episode series, and he goes and he visits Japan. So he basically starts at the north side of Japan, goes all the way to the south part of Japan in those 6 episodes. And in one of them, they renamed one of the months or several of the months, and I can't remember what it is, but oh man, I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. Highly recommend.
Guys.
I know. James May, Our Man in Japan, I think is the title of it. It's on Amazon. I highly recommend it. It's pretty good. If you like British humor, which everyone knows I do.
Yes, you do. Our Man in Japan. Okay, I want to make sure I'm writing this down because I will actually check it out. So we talk about now alternative broadcasting and so on and some of these shows. And I think you and I discussed Downton Abbey on a previous episode. And
several times, yeah.
It's just such it's fun. And so now I've been through the whole Downton Abbey series and watched the movie and actually watched the movie for a second time on the plane yesterday.
It's a great movie.
It really is. And it's just like another season opening long episode that runs like 2 hours. But it's really well done.
And they're talking about making more, which I'm excited about.
Oh, are they really? Well, I hope they do.
I do too.
It's the humor that's there is indeed British humor that I know, well, both of us like, but it's clean. There's nothing dirty about it, and there's nothing gratuitous. It doesn't seem like. It's just really cool how they keep it in period and how the characters are so well developed.
If you want a little bit more grit or a little bit more gratuity, I guess, not gratitude, that kind of gratuity.
Gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude. But anyway, whatever that word is that I can't say this morning for some odd reason, which isn't out of the norm. There is a show I used to watch when I was growing up. It was always played on PBS, and I think you can find it either on Netflix or Hulu. I don't remember. I know I have it saved somewhere. It's called Allo Allo, Allo. And
I've heard of that.
It's a fantastic show. I laugh so hard if you're into true British comedy.
Right.
And it is just that. It's true British comedy. And the show will it takes place during World War II. It's a late 80s, early 90s show, but it takes place during World War II in France. And it's all British, but the British people, depending on what country they're from, have that accent. So the French have a French accent. The Germans have a German accent, and so on and so forth.
But they're all speaking English.
they're all speaking English.
It's like Hogan's Heroes.
It kind of is. The difference is when they're speaking, they're technically speaking in their language. So if the Frenchman is talking to an Englishman, they don't understand each other, even though they're talking the same language. So they have to switch.
Funny.
When they switch accents is when they're switching languages.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really clever, and it's so the shopkeeper. I'm not going to give away the episode, but the shopkeeper is having affairs with some of the waitresses, but of course they don't show anything in bed, or they don't show kissing or anything. They're hugging, and that's their contact, their special contact. It's really funny. I would highly recommend it if you like British comedy. The show's called Allo Allo, and then let us know what you think.
Okay, now when we actually started speaking this morning, which oddly enough was about 5 minutes before broadcast time.
Right. Well, what else is new? We had to plan.
Well, we always do.
Minutes.
And then we get on this stuff and you start talking about something. I go, oh yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
my is something I saw on the airplane again yesterday, or not again, something I saw yesterday. And it's a series called You. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I have not watched any, but I've heard of it.
Did
you watch some?
Somebody talked to me about it and said, it's a weird setup because the guy's kind of a stalker, and he sees this attractive woman who comes into his bookstore, and he essentially starts stalking her both electronically and in person. And you go, oh, that's creepy and weird, but he narrates it himself, so it almost makes it seem normal. And she makes such bad decisions with men, you end up kind of rooting for him.
Interesting.
And so I watched, I think, 3 episodes, and it was good. It was worth watching. And certainly when you're in a plane and your other choice is to try to get on lousy internet connection to do work, or to watch some of this stuff, I thought it was a good choice. And as it turned out, I was mildly entertained during the time.
Very interesting. And I didn't know that you owned a bookstore.
You didn't know that was not about me. It was about someone else. Although she was attractive, I have to say that.
Well.
Well, and it's not like you would, if you're married, you tend to look at those things through other people's eyes.
Right.
Because mine do not do that any longer. Haven't for many years. So,
right.
Which is good, but it's
good.
fun to live vicariously, or at least watch a show vicariously through the character. And they do a good job with that. So do check it out. You'll find it's not, crazy addictive or anything like as some people describe certain Netflix and Prime.
It's not salacious,
shows, but
that's the word I like. That's my new word for this week, is salacious.
Interesting, and as I said, kept my attention.
Have you been able to find it on any of the other streaming services?
That's a great question. I haven't looked yet. I think we were trying to diminish the number of streaming services we're subscribed to. So I think we dumped Netflix some time ago, but I think you need to, it's like a come and go thing. As people talk about new shows, I want to get back in.
No, I know. It's so hard too, because now with all of these different networks actually having their own streaming service, which I've always said, I think that would be the perfect thing to have. I wish cable services would allow you to pick the channels that you want.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good point, and I know why they don't, but it's a really smart point.
Right. But now they are, and I'm sitting here going, well, now I don't know which ones to choose because they all cost money. And they're not horribly expensive, but so New Year's, we had originally planned to talk about New Year's, and I was at a New Year's Eve party, which we didn't stay up until midnight. That's a whole other story. We'll talk about that in a minute. But at that party, it was some really close friends, and they were talking about Disney Plus, because I'm kind of the technophile, the nerd. So they were saying, is Disney Plus worth it? And at that point I said, and keep in mind, this was still 2019, guys. 2020, the game has changed completely. But in 2019, the last day of 2019, I said, I don't necessarily know if I would go Disney Plus right now because I have a feeling they're going to come up with some sort of deal that's going to bundle Hulu, Disney Plus in, because Disney Plus owns Hulu. And I'd wait for that before I'd buy them separately. And then virtually the next day, I'm up making breakfast, and I'm looking at Instagram to see how people were, enjoying their New Year's Eve, because I went to bed. And there was an ad for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, all for actually less than what I was paying for Hulu before. So I'm like, oh, heck yeah, here we go. And I signed up for it. So now I have I have more channels than I had before, because now I have Disney Plus and ESPN as well.
Do you watch ESPN?
No.
Well done. Thanks for bragging it up.
Hey, no problem. Actually, I did pull up some hockey now that I have access to it, because hockey is hard to find when you live down in the South.
True.
So I am able to catch some hockey games.
You know what else is hard to find? Bowling.
Bowling, yeah. I don't know if you'll find that on ESPN, though.
Well, certainly not. Maybe on the Ocho.
Maybe. Well, and they also have on ESPN, because now it's streaming, so it's not just ESPN. You can find whatever you want. Nashville has a new professional soccer team starting actually in 2 months. And they have, so you have alerts that'll come across your phone from ESPN, so you can watch their games, which I'll probably enjoy quite a bit, since that's a Nashville thing.
Mm-hmm. That is very cool.
Yeah.
And the whole cable thing do you still have cable or no?
No. Oh. No, we only have streaming services. So we have Netflix, Hulu, now Disney Plus, now ESPN. I do switch back and forth between HBO and Showtime. And sometimes I'll have CBS come on, because they have a few good shows that I like to watch. But I'm very much when the season's over, I shut it off, because I don't want to pay for it, and just have it. And whenever a new season of whatever show I want to watch, because they're all about the same and they're all going to be there. So I'll wait till I've got for example, I like to watch the new Star Trek. I'm waiting for the new Star Trek Picard. I like Madam Secretary. Those are all CBS shows, CBS streaming shows. So I'll wait until all of them are on there. I'll turn it on for 2 months and I'll binge them all. And then I'll shut it off.
And do you don't, since they're streaming, you don't watch the commercials or anything, right?
CBS, it depends on what you pay for. When I first did it, I did watch the commercials because it was a lot less. But now that I do it this way, no, I pay for the expanded one where I don't have to watch the commercials.
Yeah, I can't handle the commercials. And so we will DVR stuff because we still have DirecTV. And that works great. Although some of the DVRs now that you set up in advance have commercials, and you cannot fast forward through the commercials.
Oh no.
So we just delete those shows. I won't even watch them.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story of the very first time? Peyton has never had regular television that she can remember. And we were in St. Louis, I think, and we went to a hotel. They didn't have any of the streaming services. This was before a lot of the hotels have switched over to having that option.
Mm-hmm.
So we found the Disney Channel. And I set her in front of the TV to watch while we were getting ready for, I think, a wedding. And a commercial came on, and Peyton was like, "Daddy, something's wrong with the TV. I lost my channel. I don't know. What is this? Where is this coming from?" And she was freaking out because she had never seen a commercial before.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Especially considering from whence we come with the old days of 21 minutes of programming and the rest commercials.
Right.
For a half-hour show.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Okay, so you talked about a New Year's Eve party, and we actually were visiting my mother at her rental in Florida for New Year's, which was, it was awesome to be in Siesta Key. The weather was great, and I think we were out by the pool toasting with champagne.
Nice.
Which is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
But it was, as is often the case, it was a struggle to hit midnight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm yawning my face off at 10 p.m. And by the time midnight rolled around, it was like, okay, I made it. I'm going to bed. I was done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was. We did actually make it to midnight technically. Technically.
Wait. What does that mean?
That means Jen and I were laying in bed and we were still awake and we heard the fireworks go off. So we just she rolled over and looked at me and said, "Happy New Year." I said, "Happy New Year." And then we went to sleep.
When you're in bed and you hear fireworks going off,
that's the wrong kind of fireworks,
yeah,
John.
completely differently years ago. I don't know what the change has been.
Those damn millennials.
So have we talked about the movie Johnny Dangerously before?
I don't think so.
Do you know it?
I know of it, yes. I don't think I've seen it.
It's a Michael Keaton many years ago, and back then it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. One of the scenes is, remember the guy who played the dad on Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yes.
He was also the monster in Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein.
Right.
Yep.
Great movie, by the way.
One of my top 5 probably.
It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. But he was the mob boss in Johnny Dangerously. And there at one point there are fireworks in the background, and he goes, "Sounds like Johnny's getting laid." and as it turned out, Johnny was.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll have to look up that movie. I wonder if I can find it on one of the streaming services.
I would think you would be able to. Yeah, I don't think you'll have to pay they may pay you to watch it.
Right.
So, any New Year's resolutions for you, sir?
Oh, not really. I don't know how I feel about New Year's resolutions. I mean, I always make them.
Let's explore that a little, shall we?
I'm going to steal a line from Frasier. I'm listening.
I'm listening. Okay, just a quick aside. Frasier, have you? I mean, I just kind of got back into Frasier recently in the last year or so. It's really entertaining and very well written, good acting, wonderful character development, but I didn't appreciate it years ago, and maybe that was because it was too fresh off the Cheers.
Maybe.
Thing.
Yeah, my parents had a tough time with that too, because they loved Cheers, and my mom couldn't get into Frasier.
Yeah,
but I loved it.
It's brilliant, and now we've watched. I didn't realize how many seasons they had. I think we're on season 11 or something now.
Yeah,
taking our
quite a few seasons,
but it's terrific. So I highly recommend that. Okay, that was an aside. Sorry,
it was a good aside.
Thank you.
So anyway, go on. I'm listening.
Well,
we'll probably have to pay for that now.
Way to go.
Yeah, I'll edit it out.
Well, maybe Frasier will use. Kelsey Grammer will use something from PoddiMouths, and we can just even it out.
Maybe
yeah,
in
probably.
Some of his political speak.
Yes, diatribes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So you were talking about.
I was. About resolutions. I have a resolution to remember the things that I'm talking about.
That.
My problem with resolutions is no one really ever truly keeps them, and so it's tough to have a New Year's resolution when you're not really going to keep up with it, and you're not going to keep up with it as much as you try.
Well, do you think that's really the case? Is that people when they? I mean, I think the road to heaven is paved with good intentions. I think that's the quote. I think everybody has good intentions, but they all fall under the same categories. It seems like losing weight, getting in shape, stop drinking.
Do you want to hear the next one?
I want to hear the next one.
You want to hear the next one, right?
What did she say?
I was trying to use Siri to look up the definition of resolution, because I was going to say I had a rough understanding of what resolution actually meant, but I was going to say, what's the difference between a resolution and a goal? So a resolution means you're trying to do or not do something, whereas a goal is I have this goal in mind and I'm going to try to attain it. So for me, for New Year's, I set goals and not resolutions.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was going with all of that.
Well, that was good. And Siri is very smart. So I guess my thinking though, a resolution, I'm not sure that that it explores what's behind most resolutions, something that people would like to get better at, or something they would, and it can be anything. I want to, read more, or I want to listen to PoddiMouths every week, or whatever it is.
Still a goal. That's definitely a goal for everybody, I'm sure.
Well, but where does it not? Where is it a resolution? I mean,
so you make a really good point, and I was just making fun of the potty mouths thing. But the reading, I want to read more. Okay, that's a resolution. I want to read more. But you have, and we talk about this within our jobs.
Yep, goal setting.
Goal setting. We have something we need to attain, and we have to figure out how to get there.
Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and trackable.
Exactly. Instead of saying I want to read more, no, I am setting my goal to read,
have to quantify it,
a book a month. And that's something that's a little bit more attainable, because now you could move that around and read 2 books in a month and not read a book for a month, but you're heading towards an end goal. So for me, for example, my goal, and this is a loose goal right now, I haven't firmed it up because there are some extenuating circumstances, but I would like to at least have started my ground school this year to get my pilot's license. That's my goal.
Are you doing this just so you and I can record live, so you can just fly up here?
Well, I want to get a PoddiPlane. So I'll have all the recording gear in the back of the airplane, and then you'll climb in, and we'll get to 10,000 feet. We might have better chances at getting a full recording without having to stop and start.
Yeah, we'd certainly have better coverage, I would think.
Yeah, higher.
Well,
we'll be so high while we're recording.
I don't want.
Wow, that was funny, Nick. That was great. I'm going to appease you now by laughing.
You know what's awesome about that? That's exactly what I meant. So apparently the laugh was respective of that.
See, do I have to teach you how to do the appeasing laugh and actually sound sincere?
No, I can't do both. It's either an appeasing laugh or it's sounding sincere. You can't do they cannot coexist.
They cannot coexist. I understand.
Would love to do that. Number one, we've talked about it, and
the laugh. You mean?
Both? No, getting your pilot's license.
Oh, I see.
The same thing. And the only concern I would have about recording in the plane would be people joking about us being like in the Mile High Potty Club or something.
Well, why would other people joke about it? You and I would joke about it before anyone had a chance to.
We are good at that, aren't we?
We are really good at making fun of ourselves. Yeah.
Well, there's so much material.
It's so easy. Exactly. We just it just falls into our laps.
So those
literally
of you
and
who
figuratively.
make fun of us all the time, let me just say, we don't think you're that talented.
No, we're much more talented at making fun of ourselves.
Fun of us.
Right. So what about you? You have any goals?
I have, and whether you call them goals or whatever, I certainly have things that I would like to accomplish. So the thing I have for a resolution is almost always, get in better shape. We go to the gym more, and, but be explicit about how much I want to go 3 days a week or 4 days a week. And, but the problem is, as I always say, is after the first of the year, the gym or fitness center is always packed.
Always packed. Yep. And you actually mentioned that once when we had our very first episode, because remember that was after the first of the year in 2019. Yes, you said the same thing. Which is kind of funny. You are, at least you're consistent. I wish my golf game were as consistent as you.
Yes, I wish your golf game was that consistent too.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually one of my other goals, is to try to get on the golf course more.
Oh, good.
I think I do need to get out. It goes along the same lines as exercising. That's where I get most of my exercise, going out hiking and golfing. I don't like to exercise in the gym, so I need to be better at, now that I'm healthy enough to do it.
You can even carry your bag.
I could, and I have a hoofer.
Do you?
I do. For those of you
What's
who
a
aren't
hoofer?
golfers, a hoofer is specifically, I almost said
Oh,
specifically,
good.
specifically designed for
So
walking.
it's the bag.
It
Is it one with one of the stands that's built in?
it has a stand built in and it has a backpack, which most of them now do
I
have
have
the
the same thing.
backpack thing, but this was one of the first that ever
Yep.
did. It's made by Ping, P-I-N-G, Ping.
Thank you for spelling that. It's
Yep.
not like
Yep.
they're not a brand name that's well known.
Papa Indigo November.
Georgia.
Is it Georgia? No, it's not Georgia, is it?
No, you should know all of them. You'll need it.
I should. That's why I was pausing, because I can't remember what G is. You don't usually see G as a designation on a tail.
I can't think what it is. G. Georgia would be good, but it's not Georgia.
Georgia would be good, but it's not it. Well, I'll find it later. Someone, if you remember your aeronautical letters, please let us know. They're not aeronautical letters. What are they called? What's that called?
I don't know. You're asking questions.
We're really good
You
today.
should know.
I should know.
If you're gonna
I should know that very well.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Oh well,
we'll figure it out. We're not smart enough for that yet.
We're
will
not.
be though.
Well, it's the new year, and we're still recovering from our New Year's Eve parties that we didn't finish.
Yes, of course we are. So, other goals and resolutions, any others that you have? And again, I think it's important, especially when we talk goals. Our quick teaching point is to be specific. You can't just say, or it's not an effective goal if you just say, "I want to read more."
Exactly. And you well done bringing it right back to that, because that was the point I was trying to make with all of that, is you do want to make it very specific. And so one of my specific goals this year too is also to expand in some ways our podcast, because you and I have been talking for the last year, 2 other additional podcasts that we want to launch this year. Or we wanted to launch last year. We just we didn't get around to it because we were experimenting and trying to hone this. And, we want to make sure that our fans have a place to come back to every week, all 2 or 3 of them. And once we can master that, we can move on to the other ideas that we have. So that is my goal, is to actually get that accomplished. I do have specifics for that, but I don't want to bore everyone with it, especially because I'm not ready to announce either of them.
Good.
Yeah.
We don't want to jump the gun, but it's exciting.
No, it is exciting. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I think we might get 4 or 5 new listeners just because of our projects that we're working on.
I hereby concur with you.
Yeah, we might even get concur in on the expenses side of things.
Wow, what a good idea.
That was good. Yeah, they could sponsor us.
Good luck with that. Gee.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think Concur would do that because I'm always late filing my expenses.
Are you really? I see. I have a process. I do it every single week on Friday.
Of course you do, because that's what you do.
That's what I do.
So we're talking, and before we wrap up, one thing I didn't ask you about also was the holidays, not just New Year's, but we really have not recorded this year. This is our first one.
Yeah,
so
no.
Tell me about
that's absolutely right.
Tell us about your holidays and what you did. And
how about you first?
See, this is me, because while you were going to do it, I was just going to sit here and write and not listen to you and write down my own. So I would be
okay.
ready.
Well, I can go because I have it memorized, because I've had to answer this question multiple times.
I knew that.
Having been back at work and see people I haven't seen since last year. We had a very relaxing holiday. My in-laws came, and of course, we talked about Peyton and the Nashville Ballet Nutcracker.
Yes.
So my aunt came to visit, and then, that was before our last recording session. But then my in-laws came, and they got to see her final show.
Peyton, do you think she's going to try and make that a yearly?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, which will be nice, because that means we can do Christmas at home every year.
Sure.
And I enjoy that. So I got to cook. We got to cook a lot of sweets. I have had more sweets in the last 2 or 3 weeks than I had the entire year, and I am a sweet tooth.
What things were on the menu?
Boterkoek.
I have no idea what that is. You may want to see a doctor again.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Dutch butter cake. I have made 3 or 4 of them this year, which was a lot, and it's a very small kind of pie. It's made in a small pie pan, and it calls for 2 sticks of butter it's literally 2 sticks of butter, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That is,
It's a butter cake. It's made of butter. But then we made cookies, and we made pies, and we made cakes, and we made cake balls, and yeah, it was pretty intense.
wow. A very cakey, it sounds like, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I made some Brussels sprouts too. But that's about it.
With a cup of sugar.
The cup of sugar. Yep.
Some flour and butter.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Made some really good Manhattans.
Good.
Yeah.
I had Tom and Jerry's.
Oh,
I did.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Is so. And
I actually looked up a recipe.
Did you?
Yeah, talk about a lot of butter and a lot of sugar.
Oh gosh. Well,
and a lot of eggs.
A lot of eggs. They sell it here in the stores, so it's pasteurized.
Nice.
That's a joke I haven't told in a while. It's the old days of the milkman. You know,
Okay.
would deliver milk to the house, and every week this lady of the house would write down how much milk she wanted, and usually it was half gallon, sometimes a gallon if she had company coming over or whatever. And one week the milkman saw the note, and it said 112 gallons is what she needed for the next week. And he knocked on the door and said, "Oh my gosh." He said, "I'm just shocked, and I did not know what this is, and I'm gonna have a special order. Why do you need so much milk?" And she said, "Well, I'm just planning to take a milk bath. I understand it's very good for your skin," and so on. And he said, "Oh, okay. Do you want that pasteurized?" And she said, No, just up to my tits, it'd be fine."
Wow. I did not know where that was going. Wow.
Yes. Back in the day of the milkman,
no, I'm
that
gonna
was
have
a
to
very
tick
good
the-
joke.
I bet. I'm gonna have to tick the box that says explicit content this
It's
time.
not. I said breasts, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. We've just lost half of our listeners, so we only have 2 left.
Yeah, I can't believe you said the T word. Cut
That's
it
right.
out.
I know.
Yeah.
Damn millennials. Anyway.
I think they should embrace that. I'm fond of embracing that. Anyway.
What a good note to end it on.
Woo! FCC is at my door. I have to go.
They are. And then we're going to have a lot of comments. Where are we going to have a lot of comments?
We, of course, are going to have comments on PoddiMouths.com, where you can find all of the other places to leave comments.
Like
Facebook, like Instagram, like Twitter, like, what else am I missing?
Well, we do have a YouTube page, but we haven't posted much on there.
Sure.
Oh, that was something I am going to post. Okay. I was playing around the other day.
Yep.
And so one step backwards, before the holiday, I'm sorry, it was after the holiday, we actually went to visit my wife's grandmother, who lives in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which is someplace I travel quite a bit, and I stay in a hotel that I absolutely love, which my wife and daughter hadn't had the opportunity to stay in yet. So we went and we stayed at that hotel and went to see her grandmother, whom I see at least once a month.
Oh, you stop and see her when you're there on business?
I do stop and see her when I'm there on business. So it's not for lack of seeing her, but this time she was giving my wife kind of a tour of her condo, and we were in the garage, and she had this coffee pot thing out there that she said, "I'm trying to get rid of it." Something she bought at an auction. She used to go to auctions and buy stuff all the time. She said, I've been trying to get rid of it. No one wants it. So, and I said, it's a percolator. I want it. Because I've wanted a percolator for a long time, because it's something, a lot of people take camping. And I pick it up, and it is this solid piece of aluminum. And I'm like, it doesn't look like a percolator. I bring it home. I do a Google search. I search all around. And turns out it is a 1940s era drippolator.
Wow.
Do you know what a drippolator is?
I don't.
So a drippolator is what they used before the invention of an automatic coffee machine. It works just like a coffee maker, not a Keurig, like an old timey. You put the filter in,
you basket.
And that's what it is. But you set it on the stove, and you fill it up, and you pour the water in there, and you let it drip. into this massive aluminum container.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I've been playing with that lately, and it tastes like drip coffee, but it's really a lot of fun to play around with.
Interesting.
So what I did the other day, full circle, is I recorded me actually prepping this coffee. So I'm going to stitch that together with some music and put it up on our YouTube
Good
page because
idea.
people love it when we talk about coffee, or
Well,
at least they used to when we actually talked about
That's
it.
because they had to drink coffee to stay awake during our podcasts.
Right. When I have stories like that with the percolator or the coffee,
No,
the
that's
dripulator.
cool. Okay, now here's what we have to clarify, though. Is it percolator or is it percolator, as you said?
It's percolator.
Yes,
It's
it
not.
is.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. But when you start saying it fast, you say it like 10 different ways.
You do, yes.
Yeah.
The other thing we need to correct, and this is one that drives me crazy because it's people of power who actually have some capacity over these things called nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah. Nuclear. Yeah,
Yeah.
not nuclear.
But what most of them say is nuclear. There is no Y in nuclear. And when you listen to it and know the difference, it drives you crazy. Especially when many of these people can actually push that button.
Right.
If you can't say it, you can't press the button. That's my rule.
Yeah. It's kind of going, and this one is more for fun. It's kind of like, trying to say strategic or strategy.
Yes.
But my favorite word, and I use it all the time. Strategery.
I knew it.
Yeah, I love that.
It's where did it originate, or what do you equate it with when you say it?
George Bush.
Oh, do you?
How could you not?
I equate it much longer before that. Bugs Bunny.
Oh, did he say that? See, I didn't even know he said that.
Strategery. He was in a boxing ring with some big doofus guy, and he was getting his butt kicked because the guy weighed 300 pounds and Bugs 20, and the strategery was he had a mask on. He was the mask marauder or something like that, and he ripped it, and the guy thought he ripped his pants. So
wow. So
strategery.
Strategery. Interesting. So I'm wondering now, and maybe you know this because I don't watch a lot of news necessarily. I wonder if anyone actually matched that up when he said that. And maybe if he actually, that's why he confused the word, is because he watched a lot of Bugs Bunny.
It's entirely possible, which frankly would make me like him even more in hindsight.
Oh, absolutely. Such a nice guy, but we'll get into that later. He really is. I got the opportunity to meet him before he was president.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah. An exceptionally nice guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, we
anyway,
explore that.
That's a really good cliffhanger to leave it on.
I wonder what they're going to say about George W.
Who knows?
I know. You'll have to tune in.
They probably have to meet about it for 5 minutes and come up with some strategery.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, folks. You have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember to head up to our website, PoddiMouths.com. That way you can check out our latest episodes, everything from last year. I hope you enjoyed Season 2, Episode 1 of PoddiMouths. Look forward to, I don't know what I look forward to. I look forward to you, John. I look forward to you in 2020. I look forward to coming up with.
I look forward to, and then there's dead silence. And
I should have just cut right there. That would have been the best.
Yes. I look forward to, and we're out. What a good idea.
Yeah. Sometimes my brain does that. It just kind of stops.
It does. That's
I know exactly where I want to go, and then boom, it's gone.
It was worth it though, because it's entertaining us.
It's comedy gold. All right, my friend, you have a wonderful day. What I was saying was I look forward to being able to talk to everybody in 2020, expanding our knowledge, our growth, whatever you want to call it. I just want to expand. I want to expand. Ooh, speaking of, I got something for you offline that I'll have to share with you, but it's maybe a collaboration. I think you and I will really enjoy that. Mr. Smolik turned me on to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, folks, we'll talk to you soon. I just got accosted by one of my dogs, so I think it's time to go.
Okay.
And
it's not leg humping.
No.
Okay.
We'll actually we'll see you later this week or maybe next week.
Sounds awesome.
Bye.
See ya.